Hello everyone and welcome to a new Sudoku video. I've been reading a lot of your comments where you ask me for new techniques to keep solving your Sudokus, and here I bring you a new technique. But first remember that in the previous video I left you a challenge to find a naked quadruple in this Sudoku, and I'm going to give you the answer. Let's see if you found it. That quadruple was in the last row and it was made up the numbers 3, 5, 6, and 7. We have it right here. That quadruple means that in that whole row I can eliminate the candidates 3, 5, 6, and 7 that do not belong to the quadruple. For example, these 7 here and these 5 and 7 here, leaving us with fewer candidates. And with that, now Jess, let's go to today's technique, which is called claiming. Alright, first of all, I want to tell you that this is the reverse technique of pointing. I had already explained that one in a previous video. If you haven't seen it, you can watch it after this one. I'll leave you the link in the description. But so we can get a little bit of context, I'm going to quickly remind you what pointing was about. In that video, we looked at the candidates inside a box. For example, for this second box, let's see where the candidate 8 is. We're going to realize very quickly that it is here and here. The candidate 8 is nowhere else in that box. So, from logic, we could conclude that at the end of the Sudoku, when it is already solved, this box is going to have the number 8 either here on the left or here on the right. And that means that the number 8 is already occupied in the second row of the Sudoku by the second box. This also meant that since the 8 is going to end up in the second row, in the second box, we could eliminate the other candidates 8 that were in the same row. For example, this 8 here we could eliminate, and this 8 here we could eliminate too. Now, the claiming technique is very similar, but now we're not going to find candidates in a box and have that eliminate candidates in a row or column, but instead we're going to do the exact opposite. We're going to find candidates in a row or column, and they are going to help us eliminate candidates inside of a box. I am going to show you with an example. Alright, going back to how we had the Sudoku at the beginning, let's focus only on the first row to explain this technique. In the first row, we're going to realize that we have 4 cells left to complete, which would be these that I am coloring blue, but I want you to notice where we have the candidates with the number 8 inside this row. We are going to realize that the candidates 8 are only here and here. Other than that, these other 2 cells do not have the number 8. This means that when this row is finished, the number 8 is going to be placed in one of these 2 orange cells. But there is also something particular happening, and that is that these 2 cells also share the same box. So, since we're saying that the number 8 has to be in one of those 2 orange cells, because otherwise there would not be a number 8 in this row, then we can discard all the other number 8s that are inside this box, precisely because they are already reserved for those 2 cells. This candidate 8 we can remove, and this candidate 8 we can remove too. I am going to show you another example of claiming in this same Sudoku. But before that, I want to remind you that my digital book Master Sudoku Basic Level is already available, where you're going to see all the basic techniques for solving Sudoku explained, but more importantly, you're going to find Sudokus that are only going to challenge you to use those specific techniques so that it becomes much easier for you to learn each one of them. You're also going to have more than 80 Sudokus at the end of the book so you can play and practice, and you'll be able to play it both on paper and digitally. To get it, you just have to follow the link that I'm leaving for you here in the card, in the description, and in the pinned comment of this video. And it would make me really happy if you got it, not only because I know you're going to like it a lot, but also because that way you'd be supporting the channel too. Go to the links I'm leaving for you, and now yes, let's continue. Now, I want us to look at the middle column, where we're going to highlight all the cells that are still missing. I am going to color them blue. And now, I want you to see in which of these cells the number 1 can be placed. We're going to realize that the number 1 can only be placed in the 2 bottom cells of this column. And that means that at the end of the Sudoku, the number 1 is going to be either in this orange cell or in this orange cell, which also share that they are inside the same box. Because of that, since the number 1 is reserved only for either of those 2 cells, no other cell can have the number 1 as a candidate inside this box. And the number 1 that we have here, we can eliminate. Let's look at another example. Let's look again at the middle column. But now I want you to see where the candidates 3 are. You are going to realize very quickly that the 3's are only up here, in any of those 3 cells, but in these 3, the candidate 3 is not there. That means that at the end of the Sudoku, the number 3 for this column is going to be located in one of these 3 orange cells. And since these 3 cells, interestingly, also share the same box, in that box we can eliminate the other candidate's 3, which would be this one and this one, because the 3 is already reserved for one of these 3 spaces in the middle. Let's look again at the middle column. And now I want you to look at where the candidates 6 are. They are only in the bottom box. Therefore, every 6 that is in that box, apart from the ones we just pointed out, can be eliminated because the 6 is designated to end up in one of these 3 cells. Notice that there is another example in the bottom row. I am going to mark it in blue. And I want you to notice where the candidate 7 can go. They can only be here or here. And since they share the same box, we can erase the other 7's that are in this box. Finally, and also in the last row, we have this technique again. Let's look at the cells we have available in the last row, and I want you to see where the candidate 8 is. It is only in those 2 cells that share this box here. Therefore, the candidates 8 that are also inside that box, we can eliminate with full confidence. So as you can see, this is a very powerful technique for eliminating candidates, and we already know that the more candidates we eliminate, the more we can use basic techniques to move forward in our Sudoku. So now you're going to do 3 things. The first is to look at the Sudoku that you have on screen right now and tell me where you can apply the claiming technique. In this Sudoku, it can be applied from this situation that I'm showing you 2 times. If you find them, comment them below, and if not, in the next video I am going to tell you where this technique could be used. After that, you're going to click here to subscribe to this channel and not miss the next video, and up here you're going to be able to watch the next video. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.